Hey guys, Black Ninja 797 here. In today's video, this is going to be my final review of Black Ops 3. I'm going to be talking about the good and the bad of Black Ops 3, from campaign to multiplayer to zombies, and even some of the bonus stuff that they had, like Dead Ops Arcade 2, Free Run, Nightmare, everything. I'm just going to be talking about all Black Ops 3 and giving my final review about it. It's basically saying whether or not I think it's an overall good game or not. The gameplay you're going to be watching in the background is like a live stream that I did about like half a year ago, because this is the longest Black Ops 3 footage I have. So I'm sorry if this is like something you've already seen before, if this is kind of old, especially since this is bad quality, because it's kind of like, almost like, it's like, I don't even know what the quality is. It's like, I think it's like under 720p, and that's just only because it's a live stream re-uploaded. So that's kind of the main reason why the quality is bad, so I apologize. But the gameplay itself is good, and the audio and stuff is good, and I heard that people prefer good audio over good, graphics, so I'm hoping that this gameplay doesn't seem too bad. It's just a little bit, like, underdone quality, but I hope that you guys enjoyed the video nevertheless. But anyways, what I'm going to be basically talking about is campaign, then multiplayer, then zombies, and some of the bonus stuff in Black Ops 3, starting with the bad, then ending with the good, so that we end on a positive note, and basically giving Black Ops 3 a final review, saying whether or not it was a good game overall this year. So let's begin with the campaign. So, the bad stuff with the campaign. The main problem that I have with the campaign in Black Ops 3 is it doesn't feel like a proper finale to the Black Ops series. And it's just because, like, Black Ops 1, it was a whole new series. It was fine for, not to relate to World at War. Black Ops 2, it was a continuation. It was the first sequel, so it made sense, to make a sequel and have it follow up a storyline and everything. And the sequel is good. Black Ops 2 was a great campaign. It even had some, like, alternate endings, which was actually really, really cool. I liked that you had alternate endings. And with Black Ops 3, it doesn't feel like a campaign related to the last two Black Ops games. It feels like its own campaign. It feels like a whole new game with just a Black Ops 3 title. And it just doesn't make sense. And the campaign, it's just not good overall with story. Like, it just doesn't feel like it relates to the last few games. It doesn't have any of the previous characters. It doesn't have any, like, previous events or, like throwback missions or anything. It's just, like, a whole new campaign. No past characters are back, no, like, old guns are back, really. Like, it just kind of feels like it's just a whole new game. That's one thing that really kind of sucked about the Black Ops 3 campaign for me. And that's also another reason why that I don't think it's, that bad that it's actually not on last gen. Like, you guys that, like, got last gen Black Ops 3, you really didn't miss out much with the campaign because it just wasn't really a sequel. So I actually kind of feel bad that, that majority of the people that bought the game just for the campaign, were let down, because like some people just buy the game for the campaign, and to have the campaign be that bad, like, it just kind of sucked, you know what I mean? And that's really my own complaint for it. Multiplayer, is a lot worse. Like, there's like a lot more complaints, but campaign, it did an overall good job. That like, gameplay itself was pretty good. They had, good customization with, like, the characters. You could make your character look different. You could make your gun, like, have multiple attachments, camos. You could actually play in, like, the simulator, which was awesome. Like, when you played Black Ops 3, you spawned, like, a base when you're, like, looking at your mission details. And you could, like, play in the simulator where you would, like, strap yourself into a chair, and you would have you, like, shooting these bots in this, like, little obstacle course, and it would broadcast on these televisions in the, like, the room you're in, and your teammates could see it, which was awesome. And they also had multiplayer, based campaign where, like, you could play with your friends, so that was awesome, because you haven't had that since World at War. And it was just awesome, like, overall gameplay-wise. Story was the only problem. If the story was a lot better, the game would have been perfect for campaign, but that's just the one thing they screwed up on. And multiplayer, this is gonna be almost laughable at certain parts, but I'm gonna try to be very professional, so let's get into the multiplayer. The three worst things about multiplayer, in my opinion, for Black Ops 3 is that it has the futuristic jumping movement, or the exosuits, it has supply drops, and also, just overall, the last few times I played, they've had weird patches / lag that I just can't explain. So let's start off with, like, the weird patches and lag. Black Ops 3, ever since DLC 3, hasn't been the same. The core game was perfect. Like, and the release of the game, it was perfect. Like, I legit didn't get upset. The sniper rifles weren't OP, the shotguns weren't overused, a lot of people didn't spam, like, the Vesper or the VMP at the time. The guns were actually balanced, and it was actually really fun to play Black Ops 3. The kill streaks were kind of a little bit underpowered until they started buffing them, but they were still pretty good overall compared to AW, Ghost, and stuff like that. And overall, Black Ops 3, by default, like with the core mechanics, was actually a pretty good game. Some aspects of it got worse, some aspects of it got better. Like, for example, like the kill streaks were not so good at first, now they're a lot better. The guns, some of them were a lot better before, some of them have gotten worse, and some of them, you know, like got abused to the point where they were like nerfed to crap, and then some of them got buffed to crap unnecessarily. And, you know, the weird lag spikes that we've been having lately, I can't explain that. Like, I feel like they added it on purpose almost, just so that way Black Ops 3 wouldn't be played for 3 years straight like Black Ops 2. Just so people would play Infinite Warfare. And that's not too far of a guess, because a lot of people are also saying that too. There was a video I watched by a guy named Grey Disciple, and he's a really, really good guy. I like his content. He's been on TSG a while. I don't know if you guys watch TSG, but he's a really good content creator. And he really deserves a lot more subs than he does, even though he's gotten a shout recently from, you know, 402 Thunder 402. He still deserves more. And I'm not saying that kisses butt or anything, but he just genuinely deserves it. And he talked about this too in his video. And I talked about this before, you know, with my friends. I didn't necessarily make a video on it, but it seems like a lot of people think this about Black Ops 3. Like, they almost made it bad on purpose recently. And I feel like if that's the case, then Treyarch and Activision, they screwed up big time, because what if Infinite Warfare sucks like people are saying it is, and what people like feel like it is right now after the beta? People still saying it sucks. So what if it sucks? Then nobody's gonna like go back to Black Ops 3 and might play Black Ops 2 for another year. I don't know. But like, to possibly kill one of your games to get people to buy the other one, that's just messed up. And it's not confirmed either, but that's just where I'm leaning. Either way, Black Ops 3 has gotta fix the lag and stuff before it's over, because, you know, I don't think they'll fix it afterwards, because a lot of people, like, once the game's over, it's over. AW is the only game I've seen supported really to no end after its patch. You know, like, Advanced Warfare, it's old. It's almost 2 years old. And it's still getting updated with guns, DLC, lag patches. Like, it's getting fixed, like, with, like, internet connection, guns. They're adding new content. It's great. AW, I'm impressed with. Sledgehammer, you're a good company. You take care of Advanced Warfare like it's your baby, because I think it is your baby. Like you treat it like really good. You fix things, you add things. It's really, really good. So props to you, Sledgehammer. I just hope that Treyarch can do the same. But I really don't know what to say. It just feels like they almost tampered with it just to get people to play Infinite Warfare. That's just what it feels like, and I hope they fix that, because, you know, like with these things with, like, you know, the Brecci being overpowered, the VMP being somewhat to a certain extent overpowered, having some guns rendered useless, like, it's just weird. Like, do you guys remember when they, like, nerfed and then buffed and then nerfed and then buffed and then nerfed the Vesper over and over and over again? And, like, they did that also with, like, the Argus at one point. That was, like, completely unnecessary. Why would you nerf something, buff it, and then nerf it, and then buff it again? What the crap? And it's just stupid. These patches recently have just made no sense. I'm hoping that they just stop, because these patches lately have not helped. Then let's talk about the, like, futuristic movement. The movement in Black Ops 3, it's better than AW, but it still doesn't feel like Call of Duty. Like, they added the slide, you know, which was in Ghost, which didn't even have exosuits, but I prefer, like, dolphin diving and stuff. And, you know, the suits, like, they don't play on some maps, like, at all. Like, Nuketown, like, oh my god, dude, that map is just horrible with the exosuits. Like, compared to the last two, it's horrible. And, like, you know, some of these maps are unplayable, such as Nuketown. The Skyjack remake is also kind of unplayable, which is, like, supposed to be a good remake, but it ended up kind of flopping. Raid and Standoff were, like, the only two remakes that were actually successful with the movement, or not bad, is what I should say. And that just kind of sucks, because the DLC, like, it didn't really fit the movement, and none of the remakes did. Like, the default maps were, like, the only thing that really fit the movement. Like, the default maps were the only things that really fit the, like, the exosuit movement. So, that kind of sucks, because, like, the exosuits, like, even though they're getting fixed and tweaked, I still just feel like they need to fix it more, because, like, I don't know, like, the exosuits just don't feel right still to this day. Like, I feel like people are abusing it more now, because, like, you know, a lot more people run Afterburner and Blast Suppressor and jump around, and they didn't used to do that before. Before it was just, like, Dead Silence and Awareness, because people were primarily on the ground. And that just, you know, is kind of annoying. And then supply drops. This is probably one of the worst out of the three. You guys can disagree, but I think this is one of the worst. Supply drops were actually okay in the very beginning of Black Ops 3. We had just customization only. We had cosmetic, you know, gear pieces, And even when the knife reskins came out, they still weren't that bad. They were just knife reskins, still simply cosmetic. But then when they started adding in the actual weapons, like the crossbow, the MX Grand, stuff like that, it started going downhill from there because people were actually getting some advantages in some instances. They weren't overpowered, but they did get advantages in certain times. Like, for example, the marshals, those are annoying. The crossbows, those are annoying. Some of the other supply drop weapons, those are annoying. And it's annoying when you don't have them either, because, like, you know, like, why should I have to pay, like, $100+ just for a chance, not even a guaranteed chance, just a chance of getting a weapon that I'm not even going to use the next year from now. Like, it's just stupid. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, these supply drops, they just seem like they're getting worse, not better. Like, Black Ops 3 from AW was a good step, but then it just got worse. Like, the Black Ops 3 and Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare, that's going to be a huge debate on which is the worst out of the three for supply drops. Advanced Warfare was the closest thing we had to a pay-to-win game because it had variance, but it still was not pay-to-win. I'm hoping that we never have to go to the pay-to-win route for Call of Duty, because that's when Call of Duty will truly die, is when the game is actually unplayable. And, you know, until we stop buying supply drops, they're staying forever. Like, they start in AW, and until we stop buying them where they get no more money, they're staying. Because Activision has made, like, over, like, $3 billion or something just in supply drops, like, in the last 4 months, like, from 6 months ago or something like that. Like, what? Like, people spend that much that they're in the billions. Like, wow, dude. Like, I don't know if that's the exact number. Like, I don't know if that's the exact number, but dang, dude. Like, just dang. Because, like, let me ask you guys something. When was the last time that you guys used your stuff in Advanced Warfare from your supply drops? Like, just be 100% honest. When was the last time you used your supply drop exclusive weapons or your supply drop variants from Advanced Warfare? Have you used them? No, most likely not. Like, I mean, I know there's some people that still, like, genuinely love AW, but a lot of people kind of moved on. Some people, you know, don't even have AW at all. Like, some people stopped playing, like, when it first came out because they hated it that much. Like, did you guys actually use your variants, or do you still even use them? No, you probably moved on to Black Ops 3, so was the money really, really worth it? Like, do you think Black Ops 3 was worth your money? Do you think that Advanced Warfare was worth your money? Like, don't do the same with Infinite Warfare. Don't buy a weapon if you're not planning on using it for a really long time. Because it's not even guaranteed, it's just a chance now. I miss the days when, like, they just made you pay, like, $5 for a weapon. Like, I don't care how expensive it is, I just want the thing guaranteed. I want what I'm paying for. Because, like, in Advanced Warfare, we still got Season Pass weapons. We got the AE4 in a variant. We got the Omen in a variant. We even got the M1 Irons pistol for free. Just for free, just to say basically thank you from Sledgehammer. And then, you know, like with Black Ops 3, what weapons did we get? We got, like, you know, bribes, but that's not a guaranteed weapon. That's not exactly what we're paying for. It's only a chance. Recently, they made so that way you get new stuff instead of, you know, a duplicate, because originally you could get a duplicate from your weapon bribe, and you still don't get necessarily what you want. So you still have to get a chance at getting lucky at this, which is just annoying. Like, Black Ops 3, compared to AW, like, the supply drops are debatably worse. And then with Infinite Warfare, they're going to probably be even worse, because with AW and Infinite Warfare, they both have variants. And with Infinite Warfare compared to AW, the variants for Infinite Warfare, they look like they're all positive. In Advanced Warfare, there was actually some bad variants, like really, really bad variants. Like, for example, there was a BAL, where, like, they had, like, -2 damage. There was, like, a variant, like, I think, like, the ARX that had, like, -3 damage. There's some that are just only purely negative. Like, they have, like, there was, like, an M1 Irons that had, like, -1 damage for, like, extra, like, ammo or something like that. So, Advanced Warfare had some bad weapons, or, like, bad weapon variants, but Infinite Warfare just looks like it's all positive, and so therefore, technically, that means if someone gets a weapon out of a supply drop, they'll have some form of advantage over you no matter what you do, which is really annoying, because it makes the game almost feel like pay to win, and I hope that Call of Duty never has to go down that route. So, that's just one thing that worries me. And I just hope that they can fix this, because supply drops for Black Ops 3 have overall been awful. And then let's move on to another thing, which was the DLC. DLC for Black Ops 3 with the Season Pass was kind of garbage for multiplayer this year. Zombies, on the other hand, that was actually pretty good. The only real, like, flop was, like, Zetsubo no Shima. But we're going to be talking about that when we get into the zombies part. Multiplayer DLC-wise was actually kind of bad this year. Like, compared to, like, past titles, it was pretty garbage. The first DLC flopped. The second one was pretty bad too. DLC 3 was probably the best out of the three, and then the fourth one kind of flopped again. And like, I just feel so like, I just feel something that's kind of funny is I just realized that my video stopped recording because the software I'm using right now is on my PC, and since I have a free version, it stops at like 15 minutes, so I realized it like stopped recording for a little bit. I'm not exactly sure where it stopped, but basically the summary of it is that the things that kind of suck about multiplayer, is like the DLC and, the supply drops, the weird patches that they've had, the exosuit movements, and then there's like another thing that I want to talk about, and that's the fact that this game is super antisocial. Like, one thing I really don't like about this game is that, like, there's no forced game chat. I made a video about this on TSG, and a lot of people actually kind of disagreed. Now, that really doesn't bother me, but I feel like there was one thing I missed that I forgot to, like, either say or I should have mentioned in the video, and that's one of the things is that I'm only talking about Search and Destroy and, like, Infected, even though Infected really isn't in, like, any other game besides, like, Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer games. So, even though that, like, a lot of people thought I was talking about, like, every single game mode, I only meant, like, multiplayer, like, when it comes to Infection and, like, Search and Destroy, because that's what it, like, was before. Like, not any of the other modes, but Search and Destroy and Infection, I feel like those should have forced game chat, because it prevents boosting, it prevents, people from, like, hiding away in their party, so it makes them be more social. And it just makes Call of Duty overall more fun. You can make more funny videos because you can talk to people, you can be more social, it prevents boosting, and stuff like that. And I feel like Call of Duty needs forced game chat back. That's just me, but you guys can disagree, that's fine. And then, like, the good things with Black Ops 3, in summary, is that the supply drops didn't have, like, variants and stuff, which was good. The base, like, game overall, like, but map-wise was pretty good. The default maps were good, which is the most important because those are the ones that most people will be playing on. And I would say that the DLC was very unique. I like the melee weapon reskins because those were actually really fun. Those were actually cosmetic. A lot of people actually disagree with the fact that there's a lot of knives, but I think that makes it really cool how that, you have a variety of combat knives. And one thing that's actually really cool is, I don't know if you guys remember this, but in the very end of August 31st, I made a video suggesting that Treyarch should add a chainsaw as like a melee weapon, and they did, which was really, really cool. I don't know if they saw that video or whatever, but I actually made a video about that, and then it became true, which was awesome. And Black Ops 3 overall with the Specialists too was also another really good thing. Specialists were actually fairly balanced and fun. Even Blackjack was actually okay because he didn't, have like any new crazy ability or weapon. He was just basically the other Specialists just reskinned and kind of like randomly generated. And the Specialist, that was the one thing that I was also really worried about. I was worried about them being like OP and stuff. But Specialist actually worked out really nice, which I'm glad because Specialist was like one of the main concerns about Black Ops 3. Kill streaks were also another good thing because kill streaks, like, they got buffed over time, so that was good, so I didn't have to worry about the kill streaks sucking, because Ghost had awful streaks, and then AEW had some of them, but they were a lot better than Ghost. Ghost was, like, the worst for streaks. And then, like I said, the maps were pretty good. But that was pretty much, like, the summary of multiplayer. Multiplayer, it's just, like, I don't know, multiplayer is kind of like just a joke at this point. Really, like, multiplayer is like a meme. Like, a lot of people make fun of Call of Duty, but it's just a game. Like, you can't really judge a game. It's just a game. So, my final review for Black Ops 3 multiplayer is that it's okay. It's decent. It's not perfect compared to most Call of Duties, but it definitely is not god-awful. Now let's move on to Zombies. Zombies, this is a, whole entire thing. Zombies, the multiplayer was actually pretty good. I would say that Zombies multiplayer was good. You could hang out with your friends and have a good time, and it was actually pretty good. Now, I'm going to be starting off with the bad here, because I just realized I was starting off with the good, and I want to start off with the bad, so let's start with the bad, actually. So, Zombies, by default this year, was way too complicated. World at War was really basic and simple. Black Ops 1 added a level upon difficulty. Black Ops 2 did the same. And then Black Ops 3 did it again, but it was way too big of a change. The first map should really be just easy and simple, kind of like the Giant, even though the Giant's actually, like $5. I think the default map should be pretty easy. You know, so that way people can get addicted to and have fun and enjoy themselves and get into zombies. But Shadows of Evil is not like that. Shadows of Evil is complicated as can be. I know that, you know, from a developer standpoint, Shadows of Evil is a great map, but for the majority of the community, it's not. It's way too complicated. Opening up Pack-a-Punch takes like an hour with multiplayer. Like, just doing it non-solo, it's like an hour-long process just to get Pack-a-Punch. Now, however, though, there is actually a very similar method. I don't know if you guys know this, but Mob of the Dead almost has like an identical thing to Shadows of Evil with the Pack-a-Punch. So Mob of the Dead and Shadows of Evil have very similar things. Like, instead of getting like rituals done in Mob of the Dead, you just get plane parts so you can go there. And that's one thing about Mob of the Dead and Shadows of Evil that have in common, is that the Pack-a-Punch was very difficult to open. But here's the thing, is that Shadows of Evil still is a crappier map compared to Mob of the Dead, because Shadows of Evil has some like simple stuff that's just really annoying. Like the Marg was really annoying. You know, the meatball like round is like really annoying. The bug round's really annoying. You know, not being able to upgrade the Apothecary Servant after we were told we could was kind of annoying. Like, it just, you know, it kind of sucked how that the base map was not simplistic. It was just a little bit of like a too complicated of a map. Sure, for DLC, and sure, you know, because of the fact that, you know, we've had all these years for zombies, but overall the map should have been way more simpler. And zombies, another thing I didn't really like about it was that with zombies we had no new perk. We had no new perk whatsoever except for Widow's Wine. Widow's Wine was the only new perk throughout the whole entire game of Black Ops 3. You know, like every other game prior, we had a DLC perk. And, you know, whether that would be a returning perk or a brand new perk, sometimes we would even have both. Like, for example, like in Mob of the Dead, this is actually a perfect example. They brought back Deadshot Daiquiri and added Electric Cherry. And then with, you know, Buried, they brought back, I don't think they necessarily brought back an old perk, but they did add in Vulturade. And then, you know, Die Rise added in, like, Who's Who, Transit added in Tombstone. Every map in Black Ops 2, I think, had a brand new perk except for Origins. Origins brought back PhD, but, like, Origins is, like, the only map that had no new perk. And that kind of sucks, you know what I mean? Widow's Wine was, like, really the only perk, so I really wish that we would have gotten a new perk. We got Banana Colada in the form of a Gobblegum, but that kind of not only, like, increased, like, technically pay to win. It wasn't an overpowered Gobblegum where it was pay to win, but that's kind of what they were trying to get at, I guess. And, like, you know, like, I wish they just added a new perk, because, you know, Perkaholic would have been, like, really, really fun to use. Like, can you imagine, like, having a new perk with Perkaholic? That would have been amazing, but sadly, unfortunately, they didn't add it. And I just wish that they did, because the new perks, like, that's one of my favorite things. Even if they returned a perk, it would have been cool. Like, seeing, like, I don't know, like, Vulturade come back, or seeing, like, PhD coming back, or, like, seeing, like, even Who's Who, or, like, Tombstone, just something, like, you know what I mean? I wish that they would have made a new perk for zombies. And another thing that I really didn't like about zombies was that the maps got, like, they didn't really have necessarily a good, like, finale, like, in terms of the Easter egg. Like, Revelations' Easter egg was not a satisfying ending. And a lot of zombies YouTubers agree on this. The Revelations ending was pretty lackluster. Like, Revelations, like, had more questions than, you know, questions answered. And I feel like Revelations need a different ending. Either that or an alternate ending, which a lot of people are working on. Jason Blundell said that this map's gonna last us 18 months, but from the looks of it, it doesn't look like that. And I feel like Revelations needs an alternate ending, or something like that, because the Revelations ending is just not satisfying. Gameplay-wise, Revelations is good, but storyline, which is one of the most important things about zombies, that needs to really be kind of updated. And then, let's go on to one more thing that I didn't really like about Black Ops 3 Zombies, and that's slight mechanics that were just slightly annoying, but could get you killed in instances. Like, for example, in Black Ops 3, they actually made it so that way, without Juggernog, you die in 3 hits and not 2 hits. This was completely different. Black Ops 2 and prior, you died in 2 hits from zombies. So you would think that Black Ops 3 would help by making it a 3 hit, but instead what they ended up doing was that if you move and a zombie hits you, you actually get stuck. Like, you kind of get stood still. Not like the World at War hugging thing, but, like, let's say like this. Let's say there's an instance where you're sliding, okay? You slide into a pile of zombies, but you just barely get out of there. But what happens is that if a zombie hits you and you're in a crouch position, the zombie makes it so that way you can't stand up. So if you're crouched and a zombie hits you, you're practically screwed, because unless you kill it, it's gonna knock you down, because every time it hits you, it knocks you back down. So you try to get up, and by the time you have the ability to get up, and smacks you back down, you get back up, smacks you back down, and then eventually you're red screen, and then you go down, and then you lose everything. So unless you get downed and you have like aftertaste or something, or you end up, you know, like getting the zombie killed, you're gonna lose your perks because you down from a stupid mechanic. Just simple stuff like that, like, was really annoying. And, like, I don't know, just, that was, like, a couple of things I just didn't like about Black Ops 3 Zombies. Now let's talk about the good. Zombies for Black Ops 3 was overall good. There was only one DLC that I really didn't like, and that was Zetsubo no Shima. However, though, there was a thing like this with Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2, the default map wasn't really good, which was Transit. That was also the case with Shadows of Evil. Not really a lot of people liked it. The first DLC for Black Ops 2, Die Rise, didn't do so hot. Rise and Drac was a lot better than Die Rise, but then it kind of like switched, so Mob of the Day was a great second DLC, Zetsubo wasn't really a great second DLC, so like it's almost like the first DLC and the second DLC switched for like the last two games. But Zetsubo is like really the only map I don't like, and then I also kind of don't like Shadows of Evil. But I love Rise and Drac, I love the Giant, I love Garag Kurovi, and gameplay-wise, I love Revelations. However, though, like, you know, like, there was only, like, one or two bad maps, so it really wasn't that bad. So you can't really complain with Zombies, gameplay-wise. Zombies was good this year. It was really good, despite being complicated. It was actually fun. And adding in the Gobblegums, even though that kind of, at first, was kind of like pay to win, it didn't really end up being that, which I'm glad, because Gobblegums were actually more of a help than a hindering thing, you know what I mean? Plus, also, it kind of tied in with the story. And that, you know, that was kind of a good way to kind of fix the Gobblegums. That originally a lot of people just thought it was pay to win, but at the same time, not only did it not be pay to win, it helped, but it was also at the same time storyline related, which was kind of cool how we could have storyline stuff related in the gameplay. So that was kind of cool how that gameplay wise and story wise, we got something that helps us out. Perkaholic, Killing Time, Wall Power, Shopping Free, all these great Gobblegums that just help you out, which is really cool. And one more thing is Wonder Weapons. Wonder Weapons for Black Ops 3 was great this year. Like, I love it how that we had, you know, like the Apothecant Servant on Shadows of Evil. We had, you know, the Rise and Drac bows, which was like the staffs. We had the KT-4, which was kind of lackluster, but it was actually still pretty decent from what I saw. Then they brought in like the Ray Gun Mark III. They brought back the PPSH finally, which people have been begging for. They brought back the Thunder Gun in Revelations. They added the Apothecant Servant again in Revelations. There was just so many great wonder weapons throughout this year. And we even got the original characters, which was nice. Black Ops 2 only had them for one map. They've been in every single game, but they were back in Black Ops 3 too, which was awesome. And I'm glad that they brought back the characters, because, like, we all love Richtofen, Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takio. Those are, like, the three best characters. And I'm glad that, you know, Jason Blundell did a majority of the good job on Zombies. He did pretty well overall, and I'm glad. And then, that's basically my review of Black Ops 3 Zombies. Now let's move on to slightly just some bonus stuff, kind of like with Free Run, you know, like Nightmare, like Campaign, and Dead Ops Arcade 2. Dead Ops Arcade 2... Free Run, and Nightmare all had some pretty good, you know, like, replayability. Nightmare, not necessarily, but Free Run and Dead Ops Arcade 2, those were fun. Those were just simple little things that when you didn't want to play zombies, or when you didn't want to play multiplayer, when you didn't want to play the campaign, those were modes that you could play just for fun. I loved Dead Ops Arcade 2. I love Free Run. I even had the world record at one point on one of the Free Run maps, and I'm glad that they just added that, just because it was something simple that you could have done for when you were bored, and I'm glad that, you know, they did that. In summary, the bonus modes were good for Black Ops 3. And overall, for Black Ops 3, it was a good game this year. I would give it a 7 out of 10, IGN, just like all my friends would probably say. Some people aren't fond of it, some people are. In the end, Black Ops 3 is a good game, just has some slight problems that they need to fix, but I think, in the end, it's a good game. Let me know what you guys think about my review about Black Ops 3 down below. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions. What did you like about Black Ops 3? What did you not like about Black Ops 3? And just let me know in the comments below, because I really want to hear your opinions. But anyways, guys, this is going to be today's video. I had a lot to say. I really want to hear what you guys have to say. So like I said, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think about Black Ops 3. and whether you thought it was a good game or not. But anyways, guys, this is going to be today's video. If you guys like the video, please drop a like on because that'll help me out a lot, and I'll subscribe if you're new because that's really appreciated. I'll let you guys know I'm playing a video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see y'all later. Peace.